In Houston, the Astros play host to the San Francisco Giants in the Astrodome. In the bottom of the first inning, the Astros would score three. Rafael Ramirez starts it off as he gets a double to right center field. Eric Yelding comes in to score from first base standing up. RBI number 16 for Ramirez, and it's 1-0 Houston. Glenn Wilson will then hit a ground rule double into the right field corner. Ramirez trots in from second base to score. RBI 27 for Wilson, and it's 2-0 Houston. Eric Anthony will then drive in Wilson with a base hit, and it's 3-0 Astros after one inning. In the bottom of the fifth inning, Franklin Stubbs will extend that lead for the Astros as he'll hit a line drive home run off of Don Robinson. It just gets over the right field fence, but it gets out of here in a hurry. A two-run shot. He picks up Craig Biggio. Number 9 for Stubbs, RBIs 20 and 21, and it's 5-0 Astros. Top of the sixth inning, Glenn Wilson will misplay this Kevin Mitchell fly ball to left center field. Has a pop out of his glove. Mike Kingery winds up at third base and would score on a Matt Williams sacrifice fly later on, and it is 5-1 after 6 innings of play. Wendell Kim, the San Francisco Giants first base coach, gets invaded by some space aliens. Bottom of the eighth inning, bases loaded, 2 outs for Bill Gullickson. He'll hit a ground ball that gets by the diving Matt Williams at third base into left field. Wilson and Eric Anthony score. 7-1 Astros. They win 8-2. Gullickson the winner. He is now 5-5. Robinson the loser. He's 2-1 as the Astros defeat Roger Craig's San Francisco Giants 8-2.
McKeon's Padres are in Atlanta on Sunday afternoon to take on the Braves. In the bottom of the first, San Diego leads 2-0. But Jim Presley delivers this double down the left field line. It comes off Padre starter Bruce Hurst, and it drives in Lonnie Smith and Greg Olson to tie the game at 2 apiece. Presley would drive in 4 runs in this game. Now move to action in the top of the fifth. Score 5-4 Atlanta, but Joe Carter would give the Padres the lead as he hits a 2-run home run off Atlanta reliever Marty Clary. Carter's 13th home run gives him 57 RBIs, and San Diego takes a 6-5 lead. But in the bottom of the sixth, the Braves come back. Ron Gant would answer with his 2-run home run, his 14th of the year, and it comes off Padre reliever Mike Dunn. And the Braves are back out on top by the score of 7-6, and it would stay that way till the top of the ninth with 2 men out and nobody on. Joe Baver would walk Jack Clark, and then Mike Pagliarulo, the next batter, would double, and this would score Sean Abner, who came in to pinch run for Clark, and that would tie the score at 7 apiece as they would go to extra innings in the top of the 10th. The Padres load the bases with 2 men out. They have nobody left on the bench, so pitcher Dennis Rasmussen pinch hits for reliever Greg Harris, and he comes through in a big way, a 3-run double. It scores Roberto Alomar, and then Tony Gwynn and Joe Carter off camera. That makes it 10-7 San Diego. But in the bottom of the 10th, it's Atlanta who comes back. Jeff Blauser, a pinch hit, 3-run home run, his 4th of the year, comes off Craig Lefferts, and that ties the score at 10 apiece. In the top of the 12th, manager Jack McKeon would get the heave-ho from umpire Ed Rapuano, and he would leave just in time for Andres Thomas would lead off the bottom of the 12th with his 2nd home run of the year. This comes off Craig Lefferts as Atlanta wins in 12, 11-10. Rick Lukin, the winner, 1-2. Lefferts, the loser, 5-2. It's a perfect day, well, sort of, for baseball at Wrigley Field on Sunday as the Cubs play host to the St. Louis Cardinals. After the Cards score on a Jose Oquendo sac fly to take a 1-0 lead, Andre Dawson on second base in the bottom of the 4th, and Curtis Wilkerson would single to score Dawson, and the Cubs and Cards are tied at 1 apiece through 4 at Wrigley. In the bottom of the 5th now, it's Ryne Sandberg who hits his National League leading 21st home run of the year. This comes off St. Louis starter Jose De Leon, and the solo blast gives Sandberg 49 RBIs and gives the Cubs a 2-1 lead. And it would stay that way till the top of the 7th. Then with the bases loaded, Mike Harkey on the mound. His pitch gets away from Joe Girardi. That's a passed ball charged to Girardi. Oquendo scores, and it's tied at 2 apiece. In the bottom of the 7th, Harkey at the plate. Sean Dunston on third. Harkey hits this shallow fly to center field. Willie McGee makes the catch and throws perfectly to Todd Zeal as they cut down Dunston trying to score. This game stays tied at 2. Into extra innings, then Hector Villanueva at the plate. In the bottom of the 10th, the bases loaded and 2 men out. And Villanueva on an 0-2 pitch from Ken Daly singles to score Sandberg, and the Cubs win it in 10 by the final of 3-2. Paul Ossenmacher the winner, 2-1. Tom Niedenfuer the loser, 0-3 as the Cubs salvage one of the weekend set. A view from up high in Shea Stadium, where on Sunday afternoon the New York Mets wrapped up a three-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. The teams exchanged runs in the first two innings, then Carmelo Martinez in the top of the third would stake the Phillies to a 4-1 lead. As he hits this three-run home run, it comes off Mets starter Bob Ojeda. Martinez's fifth home run of the year makes it 4-1 Philadelphia, but the Mets come back in the bottom of the third, as it would be Greg Jeffries who comes through with a two-run home run, his 10th of the season. It comes off Phillies starter Marvin Freeman, and it's a 4-3 game. Jeffries would go 3 for 5 in this one with 4 RBIs. Game still 4-3, and then Nick Leva's club would add another run in the top of the fifth, as Martinez would double to score Len Dykstra, the former Met, and that makes it 5-3. Martinez in this game goes 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs, and the score would remain the same until the bottom of the ninth. Then Greg Jeffries facing the former Met, Roger McDowell. He singles to right field. This scores Howard Johnson to make it a 5-4 game. Then the Mets would load the bases, and with 2 outs and the bases loaded, it would be Tim Tuffle, the pinch hitter, to face McDowell. And Tuffle comes through with a single to right center field. It scores Dave Magadan and then Jeffries. And the Mets win by scoring 3 times in the bottom of the ninth. They win it 6-5. Jeff Innes, the winner, 1-1. McDowell's a loser, 2-3, as the Mets have now won 13 of their last 15 games.
Action from Montreal, Quebec, as the people in Quebec touting their flags for a possible independence someday. In the meantime, they're just pulling for their Montreal Expos. See here Tom Foley on the bench. Put some tape over his mouth, not mentioning that his team is in first place by a half game on this Sunday afternoon, hoping that they can just continue to ride this streak. Here in the bottom of the fifth inning in a scoreless game, Tim Wallach with the ground ball off Neil Heaton's leg goes over to Wally Backman, who throws to first for the 1-5-3 put out. Still in the bottom of the fifth inning, Nelson Santavania will get to Neil Heaton when he hits a solo home run to left field. Number 4 for Santavania, RBI number 20. And the Expos go on top by a score of 1-0. The Pittsburgh Pirates have lost 5 straight going into this game, as Jay Bell vents out some frustrations on the helmet rack. But in the top of the sixth inning, Wally Backman will score when he steals third, and he comes home on Nelson Santavania's throwing error, and the game is tied at 1. Then in the top of the seventh inning, the Pirates score again without the benefit of a single, as Don Slott is hit by the pitch with the bases loaded. Barry Bonds scores, and the Pirates go on top by a score of 2-1. Then the top of the eighth inning, after a sacrifice fly makes it 3-1 Pittsburgh, Barry Bonds comes up and he smacks a solo home run to right field. For Bonds, it's home run number 13, RBI number 52, and the Pirates extend their lead to 4-1. Then we'll move ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, with Pittsburgh up by a score of 5-1. Tim Wallach will come up with the bases loaded and hit a double into the left field corner. Spike Owen and Dave Martinez both score, RBIs number 44 and 45, and the Pirate lead is trimmed to 5-3. Then after a pitching change, pinch hitter Tim Raines will come to the plate with the bases loaded, but he will fly out to right field to end the ball game, as Stan Belinda picks up his first Major League save as the Pirates win at 5-3. Neil Heaton with the win, his record now 10-2. Dennis Martinez takes the loss, his record drops to 5-5. The Pirates go back on top in the National League East by 1/2 game over the Montreal Expos, as once again they beat the Expos today by a score of 5-3.
Tom Bernansky and the Boston Red Sox still a half game behind first place Toronto, where they took on the Baltimore Orioles. Starter Bob Milacki for Baltimore in the bottom of the third inning strikes out Marty Barrett on a called third strike. Barrett doesn't like the call, and there's no score through 3 innings. In the top of the fifth inning, Greg Harris will leap off on the mound to make a diving grab on Donnell Nixon's bunt attempt that was popped up. Harris makes the leaping catch for the final out of the inning. Harris gets the win in this game, as he's now 7-3 on the year. 7 strikeouts through 8 innings for Greg Harris, as we take another look at the beautiful catch by Harris on Nixon. Harris was the winner in this game because in the bottom of the 7th inning, Dwight Evans will hit a solo home run into the screen over the monster off of Bob Milacki. It's his 8th homer of the year, his 3rd in 2 days versus the Baltimore Orioles. He beat the Baltimore Orioles yesterday with a home run in the 10th inning off of Greg Olson. and that gave the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. We'll take one more look at the swing by Dwight Evans that put the Sox out in front for good. Evans in the bottom of the 8th inning hit a sacrifice fly to increase the Sox lead to 2-0, as Dwight Evans is on fire against the Baltimore Orioles on this weekend. Top of the 9th inning, Jeff Gray, who picked up his first Major League win yesterday, gets Steve Finley to line out to end the game to pick up the save. Sox win 2-0. They sweep the Baltimore Orioles in the weekend series. Harris, the winner, he's 7-3. Malachy, the loser, he's 3-4. As once again the Orioles lose at the hand of number 24, Dwight Evans of the Boston Red Sox. And the New York Yankees in Toronto on Sunday afternoon to play the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 2nd inning, George Bell will hit his 16th home run of the year. Comes off of Chuck Carey, a solo home run to left field, and that gave the Blue Jays an early 1-0 lead. Still in the bottom of the 2nd inning with the score 2-0 on a Manny Lee RBI double. Mookie Wilson will extend the lead with a base hit to right field just beyond Steve Sax's reach at second base. Glenn Allen Hill scores. Bob Guerin won't be able to handle Jesse Barfield's throw. Manny Lee scores and it's 4-0 Toronto. In the top of the 3rd inning, however, Guerin handles this John Cerruti pitch, leading off the inning with a solo homer to left field, his 4th of the year, but it's still 4-1 Toronto. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, George Bell will strike again, as he has so many times for the Blue Jays, as he gets a 2-run homer to left field, picks up Kelly Gruber, his 2nd home run of the day, 17th of the year, and the Blue Jays lead by 5, 6-1. And George Bell wasn't done just yet in the bottom of the 4th inning with 2 outs and Kelly Gruber on second base. Bell will get a base hit to center field off a reliever, Greg Cadaret. Gruber comes in to score for Bell. It's his 4th RBI of the day, his 28th of the year. And that gave the Blue Jays a 7-1 lead over the Yankees through 4 innings of play, as George Bell is having a hot day. New York scores 2 in the top of the 5th inning. Donald Arthur Mattingly gets a base hit up the middle through Cerruti's legs. Roberto Kelly would score RBI 30 for Mattingly, and that made the score 7-3 Toronto. Jesse Barfield now will get hit on the foot by this John Cerruti pitch. It will bounce straight up in the air. Barfield will tumble to the ground, but he's okay. He did stay in the game. The Toronto Blue Jays defeat the Yankees by a final score of 8-3. Cerruti the winner, and Chuck Carey is the loser.